So this is what's going on with Sony's lawsuit. So everything in a nutshell. So number one, all digital PlayStation phase out lawsuits. In early 2026, Sony announced it would phase out, well, we know that part. Okay. So reduce competition in the game market, allow Sony to maintain a dominant position in the PlayStation Store, lead to higher prices and fewer consumer choices. Sony defends the decision by citing low physical demand, which is true. Well, I've already spent like 20 minutes talking about it. So they're right. This is phase one of their plan. And that's a phase that the customers have helped. And the fact that digital sales have already taken over most. Yes, 100%. That is exactly true. That is not a lie. That is not a lie. That is 100% true. So it says customers will still be able to buy games in stores, but only as downloadable codes. I'm actually seeing it more and more. In fact, to be honest, I've been seeing Microsoft do that far more. I go to my local Target, the Xbox side, or should I say the Xbox space, is like next to nothing. It's just a bunch of cards on the wall. That's it. The only ones that maintain a real viable spot is Nintendo. That's the only one I've really seen. Even Sony is kind of shrinking up. But anyway, it says customers will still be able to blah, 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 download quotes. Okay. Now, number two, California digital purchase disclosure lawsuit. A separate class action in California alleges Sony violated AB 2426, a law requiring clear disclosure that digital game purchases are licenses, not ownership. 4 plaintiffs claim the PlayStation Store's buy now and confirm purchase buttons mislead customers into thinking they own the games, when in reality, they only hold a revocable license. The suit seeks compensation and better upfront disclosure. Honestly speaking, I can go along with that. I think they don't like the term that it might look like it, if they say instead of buy now, it says rent now. Maybe they don't like that, but that might be what they have to do moving forward, because if you look at the way the business is going and how it's being conducted, you are literally owning nothing. In fact, there was a video game that came out. A lot of people are pissed off about it by saying that the game wasn't on the disc. The disc acted merely as a physical key. And so that's what I see happening more often than not at the end of the day. For instance, I'm a Game Pass guy. I am under no illusion that when I am playing Starfield on Game Pass, that I own Starfield. The minute I stop paying for that Game Pass membership, everything else goes. Now, there are games I own digitally, and what I mean by own, that just means that it is not tethered to a subscription service. I've purchased it. I've picked up, one time I bought Assassin's Creed Odyssey years ago, digitally. I paid $59.99 for it and the DLC. Now, do I own Assassin's Creed Shadows? Well, here's the deal. Let's just say sometime in the future, if all of a sudden Microsoft decides to go out of the gaming business, I no longer have access to the Microsoft Store. Therefore, if you really want to be honest, it's gone. It's something that just exists in cyberspace. I have a license to access it as many times as I want for as long as I want, so long as the service that provides it exists. So this is why when you look at other older times where back in the day when I had a Nintendo and you had the cartridge, you had the physical cartridge, but no matter what, as long as you don't damage the cartridge, it's technically yours. This is why I feel that this whole situation, this was something that people, these larger companies, they were playing 5D chess on the rest of us from day one. You just have to admit that we all got. So continuing right along, number 3, antitrust settlement over digital game pricing. Sony is also the subject of a long-running federal antitrust case which alleged that in April of 2019, Sony cut off third-party retailers from selling PlayStation digital download codes, eliminating price competition, and allowing higher prices. The case settled for $7.85 million in PlayStation Network credits, with no claim form required. Eligibility is based on purchases between April 2019 and December 2023 for games that had game-specific vouchers available before that date and for which at least 200 redemptions occurred before April 2019. The settlement is pending final approval, with a hearing scheduled for October 15th, 2026. And number 4, UK class action. A major UK class action is also underway, making similar antitrust allegations and going to trial in early 2026. So the summary: Sony's legal troubles span number 1, consumer rights, all digital phase out, misleading disclosures. Number 2, antitrust, monopoly over digital PlayStation game sales. And number 3, cross-border litigation, the United States and the United Kingdom cases. These cases reflect ongoing tensions between Sony's business strategy and consumer and legal expectations regarding competition, pricing, and transparency in the gaming industry. Anyway, that is the Sony situation in a nutshell as it pertains to the legal side with their ongoing lawsuit that's happening. So hopefully you found this information helpful. And if so, I do hope that I may have earned your subscription to my YouTube channel. I do spend a lot of time researching and gathering information and playing a few games here and there. So definitely do me a huge favor, subscribe to the channel. I'm trying to grow. Also, if you can, follow me over on my Twitch channel. And I guess that's about it. Of course, like, share, comment, hype, do all that good stuff. Because it's kind of hard to get discovered on here when you are, smaller channel. Anyway, take care. Salute.